Jeg veldig usikker på om jeg er med på noe.
Ja, da kan du ta en til da, uten å proppe.
Nei, jeg har fått nok sjokolade.
Den var, fy fela så lurt det var å ta med den.
Så det var sånn det skulle være. Du skal få masse blod og grønt på solbrillene. Det er det jeg skulle legge. Det ble rødt belte på brillene i dag.
Sånn går det når du blør nesesprøy ut i det.
Du.
Ja. Hva var det du sa, Rasmus?
Sånn går det når du begynner å blø nesesprøy ut i det.
Ja. Er det sånn lang eksponeringsbilde du tar med kamera?
Jeg filmer.
Filmer du? Litt her. Hvor er magen?
Får den oss? Er vi med?
Det er sånn, hva filmer du?
Plutselig litt retter i ryggen.
Vi skal ikke gå på den toppen der også en gang.
Jeg bare innså at jeg har jo bare med meg ett batteri også. Det var ikke filmet så voldsomt mye. Så der dreit jeg meg ut litt. Men.
Hva heter den her da? Den nærmeste her?
Versteskåla?
Det er lett å rappe for fot. I høyden, hava på fjorden.
So that's where we're going, and there's people, my people, and whoop, not falling. You can see there is where the tree line is, because during winter and all that, it gets too cold for most trees to survive further up north, or further up in the mountain. There's some scrubby things, but yeah, I mean, we're nearly halfway at it. So this hereabout is the path we came up, and the town of Loen is like down that way. And this is that small mountain that I was looking to view earlier. And here's the Skålatårnet. And we're not going up that one, but in between them and going up that way and just behind it. And if memory serves, that's where the entrance to the mines of Moria used to be. I think, thereabout. So those specks down there, that's people. Miserable, disgusting people who look refreshed and walking downhill. We have this thing, and that's awards. That's sort of indicating the path we're supposed to walk. And it's fucking steep.
Approximately.
Yeah. So that pointy bit up there, I think that's the last warden, and that we have about 20 minutes left walking to get up there. And you see that's floating specks of paragliders and some other disgusting people walking down. Disgusting because they're refreshed and all that. But come on, look at that view. I mean, you sort of understand why that guy in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy actually got an award for all of this. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. So I'm absolutely knackered in my legs and knees are on fire because walking up all of that bit is the absolute worst. Like, you're literally climbing, and most of the time on hands and knees to get up. But this last bit is supposed to be more relaxing, and hopefully I won't die the last 20 minutes. And I think that beer I have in my backpack here now, that beer is probably going to be the best beer in the world. Just give me like half an hour, hopefully. We'll see. So that's our goal. That's an hospital. We used to be. I'll tell more about it later. And that's the cabin we're staying at that I built just a couple of years ago. We're nearly there. But yeah. This is not a pleasant hike. My God, this is the best one. This is the best fucking beer ever. Not the brand or the type or anything, just this one on top of all of this. I mean, it's spectacular. And yeah, well, but up here, but Loen, this place is where the whole family is from, and my granddad. But stay good. And the tower there was built in 1891, 1800 meters above sea level, and the rumor says it that it was meant as a hospital for tuberculosis because the doctor who financed or argued for it to be built said that the thin air up here would be good for you. And modern science says that there's some claim or some good points to that claim. But there's a lot of contradictions between written and oral sources and a lot of things. And it is stated that they all thought it would be a really good like tourist attraction for Loen, which it definitely is. But I like the story of some madman thinking that, hey, thin air is good for you. Let us place a hospital at the top of a mountain. And if you can get there by yourself, you don't deserve to stay. I think that was a rule. It should have been a rule. But yeah, they built way back when they built it was supposed to be actually a road wide enough and big enough for horses to get up. Although, like, the horses out here are superbly sure-footed, and they might also have used a lot of donkeys. So, anyway, I'll show you a bit inside. That's also kind of cool. Weird for us today. Kind of cool. It's really dark, at least for camera, but I hope you'll be able to see somewhat sensibly. And normally you would have quite a fantastic view out there, but evening fog. So, but yeah, this is the commons room, and some bits are new and fixed up. And I forgot to mention, but that cabin is built fairly new, 2016, I believe, by Sherpas that I hired in from the Himalayas, because climates and all that, they were built for this kind of work. And I believe they were paid fairly handsomely, especially compared to what they're used to. But yeah, like architecturally drawn, made to fit in, is really nice. Brilliant, actually. But this room, like commons and kitchen area and foodstuffs you can buy and all of that. Not actually here in the other cabin. And this might be weird to a lot of foreigners. Maybe not so much probably all of the foreigners. Norway has a really large community, I guess you can say, for walking, and we have the right to roam, that you can walk everywhere, basically. Some limits to not too close to other people's houses and cabins and all that, but generally speaking, everywhere. And we have a very good organization that takes care and maintains and builds all of these cabins, and they are the ones operating both the tower, Skålatårnet, and Skålabu, the thingy out there, the other one. And which basically means that a lot of these cabins are open to members for very low yearly fee. Many of them stand unlocked because bad weather, you need shelter. And a lot of them are self-service and there's food to buy. Which means you can actually get up here without carrying ridiculous amounts of weight, like we did, like I did, because stupid things. So you can actually just buy the food up here. I mean, it's mostly tins and dried food, but I mean, any tastes good after you've hiked for 5-6 hours. And like the walk itself is 8 kilometers uphill, but there's also 1,800 meters. So we have a saying out here in west of Norway that there's 2 hikes you can walk. There's up and down again. And everything below like 2 across and a meter up is considered flat. So it's nearly a flat hike by Western Norwegian standards. But it's not. You'll notice if you ever try it. And you definitely should try it. But it's not an easy hike, especially with backpacks. But we walked up here to sleep and we brought a little stuff. But you could easily actually go up and down in a day. It takes, I think you usually get down in somewhere between 2 and 3 hours. But the most mad thing is that like every August, they have an annual run going up the mountain up here. And as I said, it's only 8 kilometers, but it's 1,800 meters elevation. And I believe the record for men is something like an hour, 10 minutes. We walked in 5. So those people are insane, even by Norwegian standards. But yeah, I love this place. I mean, I'll have to take some proper pictures when the sun comes up, trying to do a Berkey thing, if the fog allows. Hopefully it will clear up a little bit. Maybe even it will be a starry night. And that might make me want to go out and take even more pictures. But we'll see. Now, just to show you a bit more of the cabin. Focus, you bastard. Okay. Entrance door. Wood stove. Very nice things to have. Very nice things. And upstairs for the sleeping quarters. So up here you have 3 levels of bunk beds. And there's room for 7 people in each. Which might be shocking to everyone today because you don't usually share beds with strangers. But actually, like historically speaking, when you were traveling and taking in at an inn, renting a room somewhere, you were pretty much guaranteed to have to share a room with someone. And which might be the best part, maybe, of Moby Dick, the introduction where Ahab meets that other fella and they have to sleep together and they just bond over smoking and all that. But yeah, these beds are more or less original, I believe. Or at least they're old. They look nice, so they probably got treatment. But this is pretty much how it was from the very beginning. I guess it's also fair to mention that the tower now is closed for sleeping. And you're not also allowed to fire up in there because the constant cooling and heating of it tears on the mortar in between, and it's not good, obviously. So try to keep it. They only allow you to fire up in there from end of June, beginning of August kind of thing. But of course there's still room for pointy finger inside the frame. Can't do it. Anyway, there you go. Yes. So in there's room now for 20 people maybe, and I think it's half full. Corona half full kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, it's not an easy hike to get up here, but it's well worth it if you can.
Luxembourg. One day, everything the sun touches will be yours.
Ikke gæren James Earl Jones, altså.
Nå får vi gjøre et forsøk.
Dungeons deep and caverns old, we must away ere break of day to find our long forgotten gold. The pines were roaring on the height, the winds were moaning in the night. The fire was red, it flaming spread. The trees like torches blazed with light.
Just to try to give you all a bit of perspective. That's Loen down there. That's the path we're heading down, and crossing the river just around there somewhere. But that's where we came from. And that big one is the small one, if that makes sense. And stepdad. Trying not to bust his knees. But yeah, it's getting somewhere. We're getting there. Apart from me running ahead and having blueberry breaks, because they're delicious. So, crossing the river at the bridge here. That one. But there's a thing I think I forgot to mention earlier, that all along the path you'll have these gutters going across it. There's another one there and one more at that step. And they are basically so that rainwater and all of that can run freely and not wash away the path. Especially during the spring melt, when the whole mountainside becomes liquid and wants to come down all at once. But yeah, I basically ran a bit ahead so that I can eat blueberries and relax by the waterfall. Maybe take some pictures and such things. There they come at a breakneck speed. Ooh, we're getting nearly done now. Or down, that's the word. I think I'm at about 200, maybe 250 meters. And the bridge where I waited for the others were at 600. And they are just behind me up there. But yeah, this has been a good hike. We even, well, I didn't mention yesterday, but we passed people up in their 70s on their way down again from doing the ups and downs in one day instead of sleeping over like we did. And the sleeping over is definitely like worse, kind of, because you need more equipment for it. If you just load up on protein bars and refill of water on the way, then you don't need to carry that much, depending on weather, wind and occasional blizzard and all that. Because it's Norway, even in the middle of summer, and now in September when the weather is getting cooler, we could actually have a freak blizzard show up in the mountains, which has happened before. I tried to walk up here like 10 years ago with a mate, and we got nearly, I think, to the Skålatårnet, the water, the lake, before we got hit by a proper blizzard. I had to turn back, which definitely was a sensible choice. But yeah, like this weekend has been just magnificent. You don't usually end up having nothing but sun and hardly a cloud. Apart from all the fog that rolled in yesterday evening. But I got some good pictures and I filmed a bit. And I'm running ahead now to set up the camera and hopefully get the delation of my mom getting down. Hvordan står det til med beina dine da?
Det står dårlig til. Er det helt ærlig?